Hey guys, I'm Ash.
And I'm Pete.
We're two friends with a combo of 7 kids ranging from toddlers to 20s and 2 crazy husbands.
Our paths were not easy. With childhood battle wounds, divorce, second marriages and all, we somehow found each other. And together we talk real life, laugh, cry, and figure out how to survive the day.
Music is by Decibel Champion. To hear Decibel Champion's newest hits, search Decibel Champion on Spotify. Hey guys, it's Ash and Pete.
Hey, we're here.
Back. Yes, for another
distant podcast.
Yes, that's what it is.
Yes, we are doing our podcast from a distance again. Week number 2. So weird.
So weird. Not excited about it.
I know. I prefer our in-person podcast.
Yes.
But hopefully this is the last week.
Yeah, definitely hoping. I was a little under the weather last week, and so that's why we did the distance one last week, and then I ended up testing positive for COVID. So we figured
play it safe one more week.
And hopefully next week we'll be good to go.
Yeah. So how are you feeling before we start with that? Because we are a year and a half into this pandemic, and now you get COVID. You had not gotten COVID before this, correct?
Oh, right. Well, now I feel like, cool, I'm good to go, right? I'll have some immunity.
Yeah, let's hope.
So there's that. But yeah, I mean, I am glad that when I first started getting a little bit of a cough, I stayed away from my grandma because we've finally been able to visit with her. She's in a nursing facility, and so we've finally been able to actually go back into the facility. Like, I can actually go into her room and stuff. But when I started getting the cough, I was like, I'm not going to go visit Mom. Will you just tell her, that I love her? And so I just told my mom, like, I have a little cough. I'm sure it's just allergies, but just to be safe.
Yeah.
And then in a couple of days, I tested positive. So I was like, well, I'm really glad which my grandma had COVID and she's been fully vaccinated. So, she may be okay if I had been around her, but I wouldn't want to risk that.
Right. You just don't know.
Yeah, exactly. You never know. So, yeah.
Yeah.
How are you?
I'm okay.
Getting ready for a trip?
We are. We're getting ready to go on a family vacation in a couple days. So we are excited for that. The kids are, I haven't said too much to them. I'm trying to surprise them. So they know, they know now that we're going on vacation. They don't know where, they don't know what's going on. They just know we're going on vacation. So, Tristan, the oldest, she knows that we're going to be going to San Diego. And, I'm excited because I feel like although San Diego has a lot of things for the little ones, there's some really cool things that I can do with her, even just where we're staying, just getting on the little motorized scooters and
that'll be fun.
Doing things like that with her that I know she'll enjoy. We're going to be, we'll be by the water. So there's a little place right from walking distance from the house that has kayak rentals and
will you guys kayak?
I hope so. I really want to.
That was fun.
Yeah. I really want to. So we'll see. We'll see what she lets us venture out with and do with her. It's one of those things. It's a weird, hard balance when you've got an almost 16-year-old and then you've got like a 3 and 2-year-old. Like,
Yeah.
if there's like this hard balance of how do I entertain two different sets of kids?
Yeah, different age groups. Yeah, that I'm sure that's a challenge. Maybe we'll have to talk about that, the age differences, because even my girls they're older than the boys, but only by, well, I mean, I guess Deja and Jackson are probably about the distance of T and, well, how old was T?
T was 12.
Well, so yeah, pretty close in age in difference there. Like Deja was probably maybe 11 and a half.
Okay.
So close in that age difference. But I don't know. I feel like at the age that they are now, that's different than having a newborn and an 11 and a half year old.
Yeah.
Because we're not trying to entertain them at that point.
Yeah.
But yeah, going out, definitely. I mean, Deja would actually be the one, if we were going somewhere with a roller coaster or something, Deja would be the one that would stay with the baby. And then we would all go on the roller coaster because she is not interested in that.
Well, I did look up in the, because so there's like there's a little boardwalk right where we're staying. And it's open. When we were there, when Tony and I went to San Diego last summer, it was closed due to COVID. So it's open now. And I was kind of checking out like some of the little things that I thought, oh, well, this will be fun. We can all do this together. And then just certain rides she'll not want to, get on, but maybe she'll want to play the games or something.
Yeah, but that'll be fun.
Yeah.
That'll have fun, I'm sure.
Yeah, and it's a good, different scenery. We're going to do the zoo and all that fun stuff.
I think that's good for all ages. So
yeah.
Will you guys go on is she afraid of heights?
Yes.
Oh.
Yes.
Will she go on the thing that goes across?
I don't know.
I forget what it's called.
I don't know.
The little trams on the
yeah.
I think they're called.
Yeah.
But maybe not.
I'm guessing I can rent a stroller when I get to the zoo, right? I don't have to pack my stroller. Is it just like the other zoos? Like you just
I would assume
rent a stroller when you get there.
Is that how our zoo is? You can rent a stroller? Oh, I mean, if our zoo does it, then for sure you can there.
Okay. Sorry. I'm like, I don't really want to pack a big ass double stroller.
Yeah.
If I don't have to.
Yeah, no, I wouldn't. I'm gonna check on the website for you.
So okay, that.
I love my Google.
Well, I'm glad you have your sense of humor. How has it been being stuck in the house? You're a homebody, so.
Yeah, I'm totally fine. So when I first found out that I have it, I was like, oh, cool. Like I have so much that I need to do at the house. Like that's perfect, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then
you felt like shit.
Yeah. Then like by day 2, I think, or 3, I got knocked on my butt and didn't want to even really move at all. So doing things around the house it really wasn't an option.
Yeah.
So so that wasn't as exciting. But yesterday I started doing some stuff, and today I started doing some stuff. So that's good. I feel like I'm getting some done. But
good.
Yeah. Yeah, being stuck in my house isn't something that tortures me. Some
Yeah.
people, like, it tortures them. It
Yeah.
doesn't torture me, though.
I think, well, yeah, you're a homebody. When we had a quarantine back in November when Tony got COVID, um, I think it was hard because I felt fine, but I couldn't go do anything.
Yeah,
So that was kind of difficult like that. But I feel normal and I feel like I can go do things, but I can't go do things.
right.
But it's different when you're not feeling good. When you're not feeling good, you just can't. There's no
Yeah,
way, you know?
yeah,
Um, but yeah, some people really have a hard time being stuck at home. The kids for
yeah.
sure have a hard time with it.
Oh, I
Um,
think, well, and that's what makes such a difference. We have another friend who also has it, and they have little ones. And I think that's what makes it so much harder for them, too, is
yeah,
the kids.
yeah,
My kids are perfectly content being inside. Jackson does like to go out and hang out with his friends, so it's a little harder on him.
mm-hmm.
But I mean, if they want to go outside, they can take the dogs to the bathroom in the backyard.
Right.
He'll do something for me.
Yeah.
So, yeah, but I think kids are, they make it more difficult.
Yeah. And Jason came home. He was he was working and he came home and he's not a homebody. So
He is
that's gotta be a little rough for him.
So I think it is, except now he's kind of not feeling well.
Yeah.
So, like probably yesterday, he started really not feeling good. So he's totally fine with not going anywhere at this point, just because he doesn't feel good. I'm
Right.
like, are you too scared to tell your boss that you have it? Like, why are you still working? He's like, I already told my boss. He's like, what did he say? I can still work. I'm like, well, I don't know. Like, I was feeling like I didn't want to move. So, like, even typing on a keyboard sounded painful, like I would not want to do any of that. But
he's got to keep busy.
Yeah.
And yeah, I get that.
Yeah. He gets cabin fever for sure.
Yeah. That's funny. Okay, so you've got COVID. We've got the end of, well, for me, this is like the end of summer before my little ones go back to school. Ours and then our big ones start mid-August. It's crazy. Like, we made it through summer.
I know. It seems like summer hasn't even really happened, though.
It's been so crazy, though. I mean, we haven't had daycare for a majority of the summer, and working from home or working and trying to handle the kids has been so crazy. But my little ones start school August 2nd, and I am so excited. So excited.
Yeah, I know. You've been in a difficult position, though, with your whole daycare situation. That was a little nutty, to say the least.
Yeah. Thank God, there's two things. Number one, I have a job that is very flexible with my work schedule. Number two, thank goodness that COVID has helped employers see that their employees can work from home and still get their job done. Because I think in the past it was like, sure, you can't really get your work done. And granted, it's not easy. nobody really likes it because it is difficult. It is more work when you've got little ones running around, but it can be done. And thank goodness we've had that eye opener, because I don't know what we would do if we didn't have that.
Right.
But yeah, daycare is tough. And all the new mommies that are coming out, that are pregnant or thinking about babies, be prepared for daycare, because holy cow, I mean, that can have some ups and downs. Hopefully you have an amazing daycare lined up. They're awesome. They're great. No issues. But man, daycare can be difficult with kids. Yeah. It can be expensive and it can be difficult.
It is expensive. And I feel like I really lucked out with daycare. We absolutely loved, we still love her. But I never had it was, she would take a vacation, but it was only 1 week a summer, which ends up being 1 week a year. I don't know that way. 1 week in the summer. So there was that one time, that time that she would take off. But 1 week isn't long at all. Yeah. Especially, she was doing it alone. So I can't imagine only having 1 week off.
Yeah.
Time. So I was super duper lucky. And in your situation, you had your daycare that she actually went on vacation. And because of COVID, it had to be an extended, like a really extended vacation.
Yeah.
But then your replacement daycare, like some of the things that you guys went through with that replacement daycare was just madness to me.
Yes.
In as many years as my kids went to daycare, I never had our daycare call out sick. Because what do you do when your daycare calls out sick?
Yeah. And what do you do when she calls out sick 30 minutes before the kids are supposed to be there?
Yeah.
Which means 15 minutes before you're supposed to leave the house.
Yeah. That's just insane. So crazy. So I'm whenever I hear that crazy story and then everything else that happened, I'm like, oh my gosh, I feel so lucky because, obviously when you have your kid in a daycare that's a facility, it's different than an at-home daycare.
Yeah.
In that way. And I just am so thankful that my at-home daycare, we didn't ever have any of those issues.
Yeah. So my girls go to an amazing daycare. Well, they went to an amazing daycare. It's going to be a little different this year, but we found, so when I went back to work, I first started with one of the daycare big facilities. Really awesome, great, very good structure. Loved all the teachers, loved all the classrooms. She was in the infant room. She went into the toddler room when she turned 1. But it was very, very expensive. I knew I was going to have Danny, which means it was going to double my rate there. And ultimately, when I looked at what it cost for me to send the kids and what I was going to bring home, I didn't know if it made that much sense to send them there. I was spending a lot of money to send them there. And I thought there has to be probably other things that I'm not looking at. And I started looking at in-home daycares. And everyone's finding daycare for your babies is so scary. It is so scary.
Well, yeah.
You don't trust anyone. You don't know.
Yeah.
And you're hoping you can find a recommendation or someone has something like that they can refer you to them and say, oh, I love my daycare. My daycare's got an opening, that kind of thing. It was going to be really difficult for me because I was going to have 2 under 2, and that considers them both infants in the daycare world. So to find room for 2 infants at the same time,
that means you have to have more caregivers.
Yeah. I mean, it was like torture. And I could not believe how crazy, like, we would go meet a daycare lady, and I would be like, okay, great. I'm going to go home, look up all her stuff, check out her license, because you can call and verify, if there have been any infractions, any incidences with this facility, blah, 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 blah. Before I could even finish checking her out, it was like, oh, someone came and swooped it up. I mean, and it was like that all the time. We're like, what the heck is going on? Well, then.
Yeah, like the housing market right now. You have
yes.
Your daycare.
Exactly. And I'm like, this is someone I'm trying to do my research with, because they're going to have my kids. Yeah. So it was really difficult. I found by the grace of God, I found our daycare, and she was amazing. She's a Montessori base, which, if you don't know what that is, that was a whole new thing, right? Like learning, there's different daycares, different daycare curriculums, teachings, lessons, but Montessori was so cool. I love their teaching. I love the structure, manners, you play with one toy, you put it back, and then you can get another toy. There were so many really cool lessons that I thought were, and motor skills that I thought were going to be really, really cool. So I put the girls there. Love it. The only catch was she closes for the month of July. So last year with COVID, she didn't close. So this year she had to take off 2 months because she takes July off to go visit her mom, who's out of the country. Well, because of COVID and everything, she had to quarantine for 14 days before she got there, quarantine when she gets back, all that kind of stuff. So she basically had to close for 2 months. So that's where we kind of came into this whole pickle. But so it's been crazy for 2 months. Crazy.
Yeah.
But we're almost there. We've almost survived it all.
Almost there.
Yeah.
Yes. It's almost time to return back.
Yes. So Danny will be going back to her, which I'm so happy. Danny loves her, and she loves Danny, and it's perfect. For Gigi loves her and has done so well, but I feel that she's ready for structured preschool. She's just so smart, and she's 3.5. I just think she's there. She's there.
Yeah.
And so we're going to put her in daycare, preschool, like real preschool, like Catholic, private preschool, every day in a uniform, going to school.
Oh my
It's
goodness.
Crazy.
It is crazy.
I can't believe that this is where we are.
I know, it's gone by so fast, which, it always does, but it is just crazy that, she's so little, but, she's at that age where she can go, and so that's what we are going to discuss today, to preschool or not to preschool. And so we'll take a break and then dive into that.
Yes.
Sounds good. All right, perfect.
Sounds good. Okay, we'll be right back. Hey guys, we're back.
We are. And ready to discuss to preschool or not to preschool. So, since you have the most recent experience, let's start with you.
Okay.
So, you decided to do preschool now for Jeej. Was there ever a thought like maybe we just don't do preschool at all, or were you always certain you would do preschool?
I was pretty certain I would. She's a very, she's a go-getter type of girl. She likes the challenge. And she loves school. Like she loves everything about, her daycare would do a afternoon preschool program that she would run out of her house, and Jeej would be part of that in the afternoon. And I knew how well she had done with that. I was more concerned too because she's a late birthday, which, by the way, they just, all these dates and all these new rules really suck. As far as now it's a late birthday if it's after this, and it's a late birthday if it's after this. And, I'm like, I can't keep track. Like, so when is my kid able to go to school? I don't understand.
Her birthday actually lands. She's going to be going to school the same time she always would have been. Like, because the cutoff before was December.
It is December now, right?
Well, yeah, but it's always been December. It just is different. Like if you fall within a certain window, then you can go to.
Well, oh no, wait, isn't it September now though?
September is, well, yes, September is the cutoff for when they can go into regular kindergarten versus pre-K.
Yes.
Kindergarten. But she would have never fallen into transitional kindergarten because she's Danny with me.
Right. So, which I just thought, that's crazy to me. Like, there's no way this girl is gonna wait till kindergarten. Like, that just seems...
Yeah, that was Hayden.
That just seems so crazy.
Weird because they turn 5 and then go almost their whole 5-year-old year before they get into school. It is crazy.
Yeah. However, that's the way it used to be, right? Yeah. We kind of got spoiled with all of these, now we have preschool, now we have transitional kindergarten, and we have all of these kind of helpings into getting them ready for kindergarten now.
Yeah.
But Tristan actually also did preschool, and what's weird is she did preschool through the school district. So, but she's in August, so I think she was fine. But she did it, and then she did preschool, and then we didn't have transitional kindergarten. She went straight into kindergarten.
Yeah.
And she did great. So I just thought, well, it kind of just makes sense. For her, I felt like she just was ready. And I don't think that every kid is ready. Right. I really don't. I just think I felt like she is ready for that. I think, well, you may say yes to this or not, but I think sometimes boys are not as ready as fast. And I think I felt like I knew she could. I think she can handle it. I think she can handle the next point right now at 3. And I struggled with, am I pushing too much by going 5 days a week? Am I not? But ultimately, she's going to have to be somewhere for at least 4 days a week because I work. And so we kind of worked it out where she's going full days. The preschool program runs in the morning, and then it's kind of like it's lunch, it's nap, it's kind of free time afternoon stuff, and then I'll pick her up. And then on my days off, I can go into the classroom with her. I can work with her in the classroom. I can pull her out before lunch and nap, all that kind of stuff. So this is going to be a big structure for her, but I'm excited. I think for us, it just made sense. I don't think it makes sense for every household. And I kudos to the moms who do their preschool programs with their kids at home, because I know a lot of them do that. And I think that's great. And I think that they're learning just as much. Number one, I work, so I can't. And number two, I don't have this patience like a lot of other people do.
I am with you. No, I wouldn't be able to do it either. There were times when, and I mean, it's stuff that we deal with even now with them, doing schoolwork. But I remember when Jackson was learning his colors and working with him on his colors, and I wanted to rip my hair out and scream and cry. And it's like, oh my gosh, he is for sure one kid I would like. Hayden would have been fine because Hayden was very easy in that, but Jackson is very stubborn, and if he doesn't want to do it, I mean, now he can't be like how he was, but yeah, if he didn't want to tell me the color, he would just not tell me the color. He didn't care, and I'm like, oh my gosh, I am going to. I mean, and then life happens, and I find out why, but at that point in time, I had no idea, and so I would not have been a good candidate for that either. So yeah. I'm with you. And I mean, that's really awesome, the entire program, because my boys, neither of them did preschool. And it was because in order for them to do preschool, I then have to pay for preschool and daycare.
Right.
And that wasn't something that I could afford to do.
Right.
So it was like, luckily the daycare that we sent them to, she worked with them.
Yeah.
All of those things. So they were so ready for kindergarten or pre-K, whichever one they did. I keep saying pre-K, but it's trans-K.
Yeah.
I think, right? Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's been a while.
I know. I know.
So it's like I was very lucky that she worked with them on those things, because I remember Hayden coming home and we're walking and he was like, oh, there's a triangle. And I'm like, what in the heck? And yeah, it was a triangle, but I hadn't taught him that. Their daycare really readied them for kindergarten. I'm probably sounding like an amazing mom, but she was the one who really worked with them.
No, it's true.
And I would not have been able to afford preschool and daycare.
Yeah.
So it was like, obviously I have to choose daycare because I need my kid cared for the entire time I'm at work.
Right.
Not just a partial day. So that program that you're talking about sounds amazing.
Well, and it's great because with her going in to their preschool program, she actually will be able to do their transitional kindergarten. So she'll be able to do TK next year because she did preschool with them this year, even though in the normal public school district that we live in, she would not be able to qualify. So
right.
with the private school that we're going to send her to, she will be able to go into transitional kindergarten. So that'll be great.
Yeah.
And that was another reason why we decided to go that route. And I mean, and again, we went private school, preschool, versus waiting to, they have all of the preschools that are at different sites in town, different school sites within the district, but you've got age and birthdays and all that kind of stuff. This was just a little bit freer for us in that.
Yeah.
And then we liked the the religious teachings behind it as well. And that meant a lot. Tony, my husband, went to Catholic school his whole life. And it was something that was important to him, that if we could do and we could afford it, let's give it a try and see what happens. So we'll see. We've got one.
That is really cool. I wish that I had looked into, I'm such a baby, so I probably would have had the hardest time taking my kids from daycare because I have attachment issues. So who am I kidding? I probably wouldn't have been able to do it, but I wish I had looked into Catholic schools, because I would have never even thought.
Yeah.
And I'm sure that's a program they've had, for years and years and years. It's not a brand new program,
Yeah.
So that's really cool. That's super awesome. I'm so excited for her. Is she excited?
She's so excited. So we just got her registration packet all done. She's got her uniforms. It's so interesting. This is a little bit new for me, doing the whole private school stuff. So uniform, girls do not wear pants. They're all skirts or skirts.
Can they wear shorts?
No,
skirts. Oh.
Yeah. So they can wear.
Have you guys gotten any of the uniforms?
So we actually have to go in person, because we were going to order online, but they're backed up, and they said it would probably just be faster to go into the store. So we have to go into the store and just order them or get them right then and there. So we're going to do that, but it's just, it's different. It's going to be different.
Because it's a completely different experience. Now, you said Tristan did preschool.
She did.
And that was through the school district, you said, right?
Yes.
And so what was that like?
I really liked it, but it was not, I think what was hard for me was, it was one of the, so in our school district, right, only certain school sites have the preschool program.
Yes.
So not every elementary school. So the one that she went to was not anywhere near the elementary school.
She didn't go to her home school.
No. So as soon as preschool ended, we never saw that school again.
Oh.
Because we were on the opposite side of town. So that was kind of hard, I think. But she enjoyed it. I enjoyed it. It worked at the time. My ex-husband didn't work during the day, so I could drop her off on my way to work. He could pick her up because it was only half days, that kind of stuff. But those are other things, preschool's only half a day. And it's for people with jobs or with anything other than waiting to pick up your kids, it's okay, I got to make time for my 3-year-old to go to class for 3 hours and then be ready to go back and pick her up. Right. Or, that's hard. It's not easy. I have a friend that we were just talking about that, because she's got a little boy going into kinder, and then kinder or first? No, kinder. And then, and he's afternoons, and then her daughter got into a preschool but it's in the mornings. And she's like, how the heck? Like, I got to juggle both, and one's got to be dropped off, and then the other one's got to be picked up in 20 minutes. And it's like, I'm like, oh, yeah. I mean, so it doesn't always work. Preschool doesn't always work. And I think that's okay. I mean, I think that a lot of kids are just fine waiting.
Yeah. I mean, I think you're right. I want to say that I cannot remember the age, but it's by only like second or third grade, you can't tell a difference in who went to preschool versus who did not.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
I think anyone who is, struggling with it, like for me, it was a little bit difficult because I felt like I was kind of shorting my kids, like maybe I wasn't necessarily doing what was best for them. I was only doing what I could for them. And so I did feel guilty, like I wasn't being as good of a parent as I should have been, it just wasn't possible.
Yeah.
So that was the decision that I had to make. So, I mean, I would say if anybody is thinking in those terms, like I'm doing my kid a disservice, if you can send your kid.
Right.
I don't think any experience like that is a bad thing. I think as soon as you can get your child, learning, I mean, you want to read shapes and color books with them from when they're babies, that's stuff that you can do with them at home. But as far as getting them like into the education scene, if you can do it, definitely do it. But don't feel guilty for not sending them if you can't. If there's something where financially you're not going to be able to do it, or like you said, you have a 3-hour slot where your kid has to be at school, but you don't have anyone to come and pick them up, that kind of thing. It just isn't going to work, obviously.
Mm-hmm.
So it's okay to not. I would just say that we have a kindergarten teacher friend, and her biggest thing, I remember, when we went in, because I don't know if they still do it, but they would do little meetings with the kids before school started.
Oh, yeah. Like a little evaluation, kind of.
Yeah. Evaluation. Yeah. They would do an evaluation, see how much they knew, like numbers and colors and those types of things. And she really said, they making sure they know their alphabet and their numbers and their colors is the biggest thing. So if you can't get them to preschool, just make sure they know those things, at least that way they're into kindergarten with an understanding. Because kindergarten, I mean, I remember back when I was in kindergarten, and I used to cry all the time because, again, attachment issues. And they would let me nap under my teacher's desk. So it's like, you could do stuff like that. Nowadays, they write paragraphs.
Yeah, I was going to say, I don't think they do that anymore.
No, they don't. So it's like you have these kids that are writing paragraphs now. So it is so important for them to know those things. I think back when we were kids going into kindergarten, if we didn't know those things, it probably wasn't a big deal, because it just wasn't the same type of standards. But I think the preschool situation, when it's a partial day program, it is very difficult. Now, do you know, would they have allowed, so with Tristan, would they have allowed her to do campus club after preschool? Is that an option, or no, do they not do, they only do it once kinder gets out, huh?
Yeah.
Oh, wow. So there's like zero option for that.
Yeah.
Okay. You have to have someone who can drop off and pick up.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah. And so, I mean, I really just feel like, I think we put a lot of pressure on ourselves, and I think that there's a lot of, it's easy to fall into well, they're doing this with their kid, or they're doing this with their kid. Shoot, I need to do this. I need to be more. I need to do more.
Yeah.
I need to be involved with more. I need to put my kid in more. Kind of the same thing like we talked about with sports even. It's like, you're okay. It's okay. You said you felt like maybe you were doing your kids a disservice, but you were doing what you could do. That's going to be okay. Your kids are going to be okay. No one is looking at your kids now going, I think the reason why is because they didn't go to preschool. I mean, let's be honest. You know, it all starts with preschool. You know, nobody is going to know that. Your kids are going to be fine. They're going to get caught up, you know, whatever it is, if they even fall behind. I mean, many kids, like I said, their parents do a lot of the teachings at home with them, and that's fine. Or they have awesome daycares like I did, and their daycare person works with them on all of those things. I mean, those are all viable options. It's just that this happened to work out for us. This is what's going to be best for our family. I think also for me, I'm hoping that having the girls in 2 separate schools, although is a lot of work for me as a parent, I'm hoping it brings them kind of closer together, because right now they fight like crazy. And I know that part of it is that they're with each other all day, 24/7, no break. Like they're always with each other. And I don't think they get a chance to explore their own individuality. And I don't think they get a chance to miss each other either. So I'm hoping that they learn to kind of miss each other, because they keep trying to chokehold one and fight with the other. And I mean, it's a mess. So we'll see. I don't know. But this is a new territory for us for sure. Because like I said, it's number one, it's been a long time since we've had a preschooler. And we're going to be juggling different school drop-offs and just a different set of rules. But I think it's what's best for her. So we're going to go for it.
Yeah, I think it's going to be awesome. I'm super excited for her. I can't wait to see her little uniform, like a little picture of her in her uniform. It'll be so cute.
Be ready for some jogathon fundraisers.
Oh, something. I'm all about it. You know, just come let Uncle J-Rock know, you know.
Well, Ashley, I'm not going to keep you too long because I want you to get your rest.
Thank you.
But these are some interesting times, and I'm hoping that as we get closer to the school year starting, that our kids are ready to be back in school full time, that this little Delta variant does not, hinder anything that we have set, going forward. I truly believe our kids need to be in school. I truly believe that we need to try to live life as normal as we can. Obviously, we need to be safe, and we need to take precautions. But I just hope that we can move forward, and I hope that we don't hit another roadblock this year, because I think mentally and physically, I think we all need to get life going continuously and not stop.
100%. Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, well, if you guys have any questions, if you guys want to tell us your experience with preschool, what your thoughts are, if you think I'm crazy, keep it to yourself. Just kidding. You can always let us know. Let us know. Don't forget to follow us at Real Ash and P on Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn, Twitter. What else? TikTok. We need to do some TikToks.
Oh, I know. We have not been able to do our TikTok.
I know.
But we will. once I'm better, we will do it.
All right.
Yeah. All right. Well, thanks so much for swapping, guys.
Thanks, guys. Segment music by Callie Grace. For more of Callie Grace's hits, follow Callie Grace on iTunes and Spotify today.